2021 is a proud landmark year in the history of St. Ignace. The community, which is celebrating its 350th anniversary, is the second oldest European-founded city in Michigan. Father Jacques Marquette, a Jesuit explorer, visited the Indian settlement that had existed from time immemorial at the site of modern-day St. Ignace and planted the roots of the current city.
There were several different Indian tribes that were here, even into contact. There were the Huron, the Iroquois, the Chippewa, the Tianantate.
The cultures, combined with ingenuity, created the strong, resilient community that has thrived for 3.5 centuries. The Anishinaabe population has resided on the north shore of the Straits of Mackinac from time immemorial.
A family constituted life, an extended family, so therefore when you had grandparents and uncles and aunts and children and mother and father, they all raised the children. And your grandparents were the only ones that taught because they have all the life lessons and the history to teach you.
And this is what my mom and dad made part of their culture. They call them berry baskets, and it's made out of birch bark and sweet grass, and they would go around selling that to different vendors in St. Ignace.
My dad would take me into the woods and he'd say, "Come on, we're gonna go gather a few things." We would go out and get spruce pitch off the tree, and I'd get it and I'd start chewing it more than I would put into the bucket. And it tastes like gum. It would end up just looking like chewing gum.
Using skills that have been honed over the preceding centuries, the local Anishinaabe community thrived thanks to the bounty of Mother Earth.
You would have extra fish, you would use your white fish, you would put it in the ground, you'd make a mound of dirt, you'd plant your corn, the 3 seeds in there to grow one hill. And then we do that with each one. So then fertilizing each mound with fish.
Fishing not only provided a sustainable food source for the early Anishinaabe residents, but it also served to establish an early trading network. Tribes from other areas traveled to the Straits during peak fishing season, bringing with them skills, tools, and foodstuffs that weren't available locally. After a century or more of commercial fishing by the non-native members of the community, the fishery has reverted to the native community. St. Ignace became the center for mill yards in the last half of the 19th century as the lumbering industry evolved in Michigan.
They would cut this wood and then chop it into probably 6-foot lengths, whatever boiler sides, and then they would stack it up and then haul it across on horses over to St. Helene Island.
The community's proximity to the shipping lanes between the Great Lakes made it a natural commercial hub.
So this was kind of a natural stopping point, plus you had Mackinac Island that was it was kind of the gateway to the UP, I would say, at that time.
The lumberjacks who worked in the forests and the surrounding area were a hard-working group who added significant color to our history. Before the construction of the Mackinac Bridge, car and train ferries crossed the Straits of Mackinac between St. Ignace and Mackinac City.
The car ferry system was the first state-owned car ferry system in the United States.
Ultimately, the state assumed responsibility for auto traffic when motorists complained about the high cost and unreliable schedules of transporting automobiles on train ferries.
Sometimes the cars ran out of gas while they were waiting, especially if the weather was a little cool and they were running them.
State involvement led to the construction of the bridge. The last ferry crossing was on November 1st, 1957. By the mid-1850s, with logging and commercial fishing in full swing, the need for year-round access to markets became evident. Enter the age of the railroad.
Everything came to St. Ignace by rail, and all those different communities were served that way. Mail came to the St. Ignace post office from the train. We had to go down there. We went down there and picked it up by truck.
Trains enabled businesses to access markets in the Midwest that had previously been closed to them. Construction of the Mackinac Bridge began in 1954. The work was completed 4 years later in 1958 at a cost of $99,800,000. Regarded as an engineering marvel, the bridge spans the Straits of Mackinac at a distance of some 5 miles. The bridge opened the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to the vast Midwestern, to tourism and other business opportunities. Despite the changes and advancements that have visited St. Ignace in the last 350 years, the fabric of the community, woven with courage, perseverance, and strength, remains intact. It has retained its small-town charm and friendliness.
St. Ignace is a very unique town. We are blessed with the harbor, we're blessed with the climate, we're blessed with the people.
If you like continuity, not much change, and appreciation for history, it's great to be a part of.
We accept anybody and everybody, and that's the great accomplishment, is we haven't changed.
Come join us as we celebrate our long and storied history and help us turn the page as we move forward into the future.